Hello everybody, and welcome to Zero Plays A Diamond in the Rough. Today we are featuring Katawa Shoujo. I only know this game faintly from remembering Fear and Shock discussing it around the time I met them both, which was a few years ago. Wow, it's weird to think that now. Anyway, I was gonna do another game, and then I was like, man, let's do something even more random. And so this was what I chose. I hope you enjoy, and we're gonna dive right on in. Oh, it's snowing. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and wrap them together, furious to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah, yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of letter in the locker, but this is at least which shows a little bit of initiative, you know? As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in the straight, stagnant world. I was doing so good. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisao, you came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of the dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to for hundreds of times, but never more than eavesdrop in a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams. My heart begins to race. Oh, hi! What's up? Oh, I'm gonna butcher these names so bad. Nako? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it! I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that's what the result. Pathetic. Yeah, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad that you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. Oh, that hurts. My heart's pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from the chest and claim this girl for itself. I'm gonna bet this is a huge misunderstanding. This is hilarious. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The noise is music to my ears. Naka flinches ever so slightly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine as she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there motionless, save for my pounding heart. I wanted to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Hisao? I reach out to try and massage it, wanted to the spike of blinding pain along my arms. Hisao! My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. You're having a heart attack. Hisao! The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Nako running towards me, all these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Nako screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above. That's what you get for making me wait in the cold for such a long time, bitch. Jeez, I hope you pay for my medical bills. Oh, this makes me think of Resident Evil. Somebody thinks me, we think of Ari. Well, you seem to be fine. Beep. 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 Just dripping. It's like we're making a symphony of hospital sounds, which are always so uncomfortable. I never really had to spend too much time in the hospital. I mean, there's times I probably should have, but I didn't. But that's okay! We don't need to go into those times. Those times are times of syringes, and that kind of looks like a bullet. Even though it's probably just an eyedropper thingy. But still, it looks like a bullet. And time is ticking by as I'm laying in my hospital bed. And I'm like, damn, I was so close. I was so happy that I had a heart attack. And you know what? She's probably not going to talk to me now. She'd be like, oh no, such horrible memories. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do any of that. Or we don't go there ever again. Or she's dead. I'm sorry, but you were in a coma for 20 years. Now you're like a... Oh. Dang. Well, there goes that fun story. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. I'm familiar with that. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They say it's a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is it really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It didn't really do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I'd already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay in the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Maybe some. And even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Nako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're all in a hurry and have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that the surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough that I am not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there's at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why. I just did. Well, sir, you were depressed. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. Or escapism. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. Books are good. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. And people started messaging on me on my phone. Wow, that's really weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna meh. The days became increasingly hard to distinguish from each other. differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. I felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass, and I was trapped inside instead of moving within. A week would go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I'd set up for myself. The pages of my books would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside just to lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them aren't even sort of dressed up. It's supposed to be some kind of special occasion. It's not a party. Oh, they are, kind of. There's a ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers and setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down at the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hisao. How are you today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted out. I'll give you further prescriptions. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. That is a really nice effect that they have going there. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed above line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it, and tempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day. I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that this list fade over the years. Years. What a kind of confidence booster is that? I'd feel better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents. We believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says this tells me it's full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure your medication's suitable. So I've spoken with your parents about a transfer. It's a school called the Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? It has 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. Majorities of students live on campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independent. It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. If you think you'd like it, it looks like I really don't have a choice. Because clearly I can't go back to the other school because I have to be watched 24/7, and so hopefully, your friends that aren't really your friends, that never really visited you, they don't really miss you that much, so really, you're only getting good out of this guy. I mean, you're bitching about it, yeah, and I can see the problems, but I went to numerous schools for a lot slighter reasons than that. I think it'll be good. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This is an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you want to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and many of graduates of school have gone on to amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. You're not helping him by constantly referring to it as a disability. You're making him feel worse. He's new to this, okay? He's still feeling like he's just a horrible weight on him and he doesn't like the word. It tastes bitter in his mouth. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life seems out of the question now. It's funny. I always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame the lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyway. But no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that makes me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school... What are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing, see? That is all I can think to get myself through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would just be a big mistake if I resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. Wow, he's dramatic. But I can totally see what he's thinking. Oh, hi. Life expectancy, Act 1. You have a little boo-boo in your heart. You need band-aids. It'll be all good. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that. But this one especially so, because it looks like it has a face on it. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like the gate of her school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Well, sir, you've kind of been in bed. Moving forward feels good. It does feel good. A lot better than lingering. So I walk towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh-cut grass and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. I have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone here. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. Hiya, baby. Hello, baby. Hi. No, don't push things on my screen. I get it's a touch screen, and you can't help it, but don't do that, okay? Don't do that, okay? Good girl. Continue being cute, though. It makes me think about the hospitals again. How they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. Actually, blue is more calming than green. And they're usually white. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gates bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Whew. Feeling nervous with this realization in my head, I open the front door. A tall man with bad posture noticed me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Nikki? Nakai. Ah, so you are! Excellent! I'm your home-permanent science teacher. My name is Mudo! Welcome! We exchange a handshake that neither firm nor sloppy. He looks at his watch. The nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon's probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting inside already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. You're going to a new school. You're gonna be the new fucking center of attention, okay? It's how that works, bitch. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Think of this, I almost missed what the teacher's saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Yeah, of course. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be one to get the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridors marked with classroom for class 3-3. We have a cool class name, people. This is promising. Mudo opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Ah, get a grip. This is a big step, I know. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon.